Hello, friends. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Anchorage, where we are about transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in their world. My name is Reverend Rachel. I'm the minister here, and I would like to start with acknowledging that I stand gratefully on the traditional and current lands of the Dena'ina people. And so we start with prayer this morning. And so let's just breathe into that space, friends. And just allow ourselves to set aside whatever we've got going on today, whatever busyness of the week, concerns of the day, and just allow ourselves the present of being in the present. We just allow gratitude for this moment, for this time together, for this opportunity to grow, to share, to listen, to be. And so we open our hearts and minds with gratitude, with joy, with wisdom and love. And so it is. Amen. Well, friends, I'm going to start us off with a song today. This is Daniel Nahmod singing One Power at the Parliament of World Religions. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. But I wanted to share this with you because this is Daniel's so-called Anthem for Humanity. And anyway, I think you'll like it.
There's one power, invisible, and just see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and just speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit or Jesus or Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, It's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby. The serenity of sleep. It's the anchor we abandon. For it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, what we are is one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Oh, that's pretty great, huh? I hope you enjoyed it like I enjoy it. We'll talk about more about that in a minute, but let's have Nancy here with the absolute word.
Good morning. Today's absolute word is well-being. I vigorously embrace divine life, wholeness, and health. If my body experiences any kind of health challenge, I turn within to release all fear and concern from my consciousness, knowing illness is never part of my divinity. I decree life, wholeness, and health now. I remember that life, wholeness, and health are inherent aspects of my spiritual beingness. I release any power or importance given to anxiety as I fill my consciousness with thoughts, feelings, and images of total well-being. I visualize each and every cell aglow with vitality. I appreciate my body's marvelous functions. I intentionally provide my body with rest, exercise, and good nutrition. I speak affirming words, claiming my body total. I am grateful for the principles of life, wholeness, and health. I know wholeness and health are already mine in consciousness. I vigorously embrace divine life, wholeness, and health.
Thank you, Nancy. I vigorously embrace divine life, wholeness, and health. I think that's a great affirmation for us to remember, don't you? So, oh, well, look at that. Well, you can still see all the words. The formatting is a little wonky, but most of you are probably pretty familiar with this song, so you're going to close your eyes and sing along anyway. So let's settle into our meditation time, friends. And so Just settle in. Allow yourself, if you want to close your eyes or you want to focus on a soft point, or you can look at the words. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. My peace. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. Joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. And so as we settle into our meditation space, I invite you to just hold that intention of settling in and to just being the most love, the most peace, the most joy, the most wisdom. Knowing that that truth of who we are, divine being, is in the core of us always. So we just breathe into that. Just breathe. Allowing the shoulders to relax, allowing any tensions to relax. Allowing any thoughts, to-do lists, just to relax. From this place of divine wisdom, divine love, we see clearly the gentleness how we treat ourselves and others. as we just allow this place of peace to rest, the stillness, the quiet. And just relax. Noticing if your thoughts have been distracted. Noticing your body has tension. And so we just take a moment to allow gratitude to well up in our hearts, appreciation, feeling appreciation for this moment, feeling appreciation for being alive, for knowing peace and truth. And so let that feeling of appreciation fill your body. Imagine every cell alive with light and wisdom and peace and love, vibrating at the energy, at the vibration of spirit. And even if there's parts of your body aren't feeling it this morning, that's okay. Just imagine what it would be like anyway. Just imagine every cell alive and vibrant, vibrating with the life, the light, the wisdom, the peace, the joy of spirit. And as we imagine that, we imagine a field, our energy field of light and wisdom and love and compassion, joy, spreading beyond the body, enveloping our household, developing our neighborhood. Wisdom and light and joy and appreciation and love and compassion moves out and enfolds our area. It makes a net with all the other people, both the people who are part of this meditation right now, the people who will join us later, and all the people of the world who are holding a vision for peace, for wisdom, for love and compassion. All around the world, there are people holding that vision, and we plug into and join that net of intention. We see it enfolding the world. We see tensions easing, understanding growing, love and compassion leading, wisdom guiding. And so from that place, we feel gratitude to be a part of the global consciousness rising. Bring our awareness back to this place, this space, the chair supporting the body. Maybe you notice tension, let it go. Remembering that this place of peace and wisdom is only ever a thought, a moment away. And so it is. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. One more time. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. Just breathe, friends. Just take a moment. All right. So I shared that song, and if you managed to not be here for the beginning, go back and watch the song at the beginning. It's One Power by the fantastic musician Daniel Nahman, his Anthem for Humanity. And I played that, particular version that was from the Parliament of World Religions when he played that, because it's been on my mind, the Parliament. 2 years ago, last week, I was at the Parliament of World Religions. That is a gathering. This time we had over 7,000 people from, now I forgot how many countries. A lot of countries and over 200 different faith traditions. Pretty amazing. People coming together with the intention of connection, of sharing, of understanding. We celebrated many different, learned about different rituals and traditions and all sorts of things. We were coming together on common ground, not about whether their they are right or we are right, but what we have shared, which was a concern for humanity, a caring, a belief that what we have in common is more than what we have separate. And I shared that because I think it's a good thing to remember. I titled today's talk Waiting on Nothing, which is actually another Daniel Nahmod song, which when I was looking for a good recording of that to share, I came across this and I was like, oh, wait, no, let's do One Power instead. But what I like, when I decided what the talk for today's talk was, the title for today's talk was, I decided knowing that it was almost certain that there would be at least some elections that we would not know the answers to, which is very true here in Alaska, right? Because I wanted to make a call to you that we are the change makers in our world. Whoever is elected will have some influence and power. Yes, that's true. But the change we wish to see in the world happens at many different levels. And we don't have to wait. We don't have to wait to know who's elected to start making that change or continue to make that change. Many of you are already change makers in our world. And so I kind of jumped ahead. I told you where I was going before I got there. Oh, well, now you know. So one of my colleagues, Minister David Ridge, he's in Colorado. He was posting about he wanted to talk about not about love wins, because wins means that there's opponent, right? It means there's conflict or opposite sides, and love does not recognize sides or opponents or conflict or opposition. Love is. Charles Fillmore says that love is not just an emotion. I mean, he didn't say this part, but he said, so love is not an emotion, just the emotion that we feel for our cats or for our favorite TV show. Love is the power that binds together the universe and all of the people in it. And I don't know if he was thinking about aliens, but all of us, right? Love is the power that brings us all together. It sticks us together. It's the super glue of the universe. And so in love, I don't see how there can be winners and losers. There can be opportunities for more love, opportunities for more connection, opportunities for healing. Because healing will often be what is required to bridge the gap and to be more love. And so we get to move forward in love, friends. Whether we know some of the results of elections and some we don't know, it doesn't matter, because we get to choose to move forward in love. We can hold accountable those who've been out. We can hold accountable out of love of those who've been harmed. So if something has happened that's not in alignment with love, we can hold them accountable. We can change cultures and policies that cause harm from love. Not out of opponents, but out of a true desire to bridge any gap that needs to be healed, from a true desire to create a world that works for all, from a true desire to give everyone a fair shot. We do this out of love, regardless of what happens, regardless of who is the people, quote unquote, in power. Because what I want to tell you is that the people in the power are all of us. The point of power in my life is me. The point of power in your life is you. Collectively, we create the point of power of our country, of our culture, of our world. I'm going to say something like that again. Collectively, we are the point of power for our culture, for our country, for our world. And maybe sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but it's true. I believe it's true. And I think that you think it's true because you're here listening to me talk about it. So in unity, we teach that there's one presence and one power in the universe. That's God, right? That's what Daniel talked about in his song. Whatever you call that power, I believe it's all the same energy. And if there is only one power and one presence, then there is no other. As love says, there's no opponent. There may be a need for healing. There may be a need for accountability. There may be a need for reconciliation. There may be a need for amends. Certainly. Because love calls for that to happen, for the healing to happen. There is great need in our community. Just today in the news, there was another article about the increased need on our food banks and our social services agencies here in Alaska to support families and individuals who are having economic troubles. What is mine to do about that? Each of us may have a different answer, but love calls us to ask the question. We don't need someone in an office somewhere to tell us what to do. We can answer the question ourselves. And we can call those people accountable to make a different policy, to make it better. But in the meantime, we ask a question: what is mine to do in this moment to be love? What is mine to do to show up as wisdom? We don't have to wait. We're waiting on nothing. We're waiting on nobody. We're doing our part, right? Yes, I know you're saying yes. So I was thinking about Unity's 12 powers, and these are just attributes of our God self. Sometimes it's easier to focus on a smaller chunk than all of it. And so what does wisdom say is mine to do today, tomorrow, next week, to stay in it? What does wisdom say? What is my power of release? What is my power of release? Which says, what is mine to let go of? What biases are mine to let go of? What judgments are mine to let go of? What resentments are mine to let go of? So that I can show up as ready to stand and help and support and love and grow and heal. How can we use our power of imagination to envision the world that works for all? How can we use our power of imagination to see everyone having enough food, healthy food, everyone having a safe, warm or cool, depending on what part of the world you live in, home to live in. Everyone being able to go about their business in a safe way. Everyone having the opportunities for education and advancement, self-fulfillment. If we can imagine that world, right? Can you imagine that world? It's something different than what our world is, right? But we use our power of imagination to see it. And we use our power of love to draw it to us, right? Because we want to create that world. We use our power of faith to move in that direction. We believe in that world. And so we continue to take those steps. We use our power of commitment, which is part of will, to continue to take the steps. And maybe we stop and take a breath. That's allowed. I've used this analogy before, but it's so apt. In a choir or a band, when there's a long note that's being held, everyone doesn't hold the note for the whole time. You stagger breathe. And so I hold the note and then I take a breath and then I keep holding. And then the next person takes a breath. And so for the person listening, it's a sustained movement of sound. But each person is getting the chance to take the breath that they need. So you can stop and take a breath. But what's important is that we stay in our commitment to move forward and make those differences, make the change in the world that we wish to see, and continuing to vision that. We don't have to wait on anything. We don't have to wait on anything to help co-create heaven on earth. And finally, tenacity. That's one of my favorite attributes. Tenacity goes under the power of strength. And strength is not muscle strength, though it can be. Tenacity is, if you were to use a word that maybe is not used visual and is not viewed as in a positive light, you might call it stubbornness, but in a holy way, right? Tenacity means that we're going to stick with it. And I believe so much in co-creating a world that works for all. I believe so much in that we can transform lives through spiritual practice. And in transforming lives, we can transform the world. That I'm going to stick to it, even though it's might be hard and it might seem like there's a lot of roadblocks, but I'm just going to keep going. My inner wisdom tells me that it's my path to take, and therefore I take it. Now, your inner wisdom may say, you know what, it's time to detour. And then you follow your inner wisdom. But not because you're chicken. Sometimes chicken sounds a lot like inner wisdom. So you got to know the difference, right? And so that we don't wait on anything. We come together in that same energy that I got to experience at the Parliament of World Religions, of connection, of sharing, of understanding, of believing that we can live in a harmonious world. We don't have to be homogenous. We just have to be caring and understanding and respectful. And so love calls us. Love calls us to not see an opponent. I'm saying this for myself just as much as you. It can be hard. But love calls us to not see an opponent, but to raise up and call forth wisdom, to call forth compassion, to call forth love. How, instead of making you wrong so that I can be right, how can we move together, forward together? How can we make reconciliation happen for those who have been harmed? Not out of having to make so-and-so the bad person, but out of calling forth what love needs, what reconciliation needs, what compassion needs for those who've been harmed. And then, how can we change our world so that harm does not happen in the future? That's how we really create a world that works for all, right? Creating a world that causes less harm for those in the future. This is the work of several lifetimes, friends. I would love for it to be able to happen just like that, but I believe that it's possible. We just continue to move forward with tenacity, commitment, imagination, releasing all the things that are not that. That's what we are. That's who we are. That's who we've come here to be. It's who I have come here to be. So we can really live in that knowing that there's one presence, that we are all that. But we have to put it into action. So that is that. That is the call to action, to remember that we don't have to wait on anything or anyone to start creating or continue to create a world that works for all. We don't have to wait for anyone or anything to continue to grow our consciousness, to continue to grow our spiritual practice, to help create a world that works for all. So we wait on nothing. Yes. And we take time to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. So, next week, friends, we've got to the announcement part of our section. I want to let you know really quick before I forget that next week will be a guest speaker. Her name is Audrey Pitchford. She is a licensed Unity teacher out of Olympia. And she's going to be giving her talk next week on Zoom. So if you're a Facebook watcher and you're not getting the e-news, make sure you go to our website and sign up for that, because the login information will be coming out in the e-news midweek. So check that out. Audrey is super fantastic, and she's really excited about sharing message with you all. So look forward to hearing how awesome that was. Yay. Because I will be doing my quarterly retreat, quiet time, because it's my turn to breathe. Right? Okay. So come and see Audrey next week. On Thursday, on our regular Zoom link is our discussion group, Thursday at 11 o'clock. So pop in. We just chat about whatever spiritual things pop into our minds at the time. It's good fun. And let's see. I think that's all. So head over to the fellowship area after we do our prayer. And so the formatting's a little wonky, but we can make it through. Through. So let's just take a moment, friends, and settle into prayer space, holding in our hearts. Maybe the whole world, but certainly anyone who's on our hearts today. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. So pop over to fellowship if you'd like, friends. The link is in your e-news for the Zoom. And thank you to our monthly givers. If you are not a monthly giver, or even if you are, I suppose, if you'd like to support our ministry, head over to our donate page. All right, friends, I will see you over there. Take care. Have a good week. Remember to breathe.